Welcome back to the deep dive. I want to start today by asking you to just close your eyes for a second.
Oh, setting the scene right away.
Yeah, I really want you to imagine the cold. And I don't just mean that, forgot your jacket kind of chill.
Right.
I'm talking about a cold that feels like it actually has teeth. A cold that bypasses your skin and settles right into the marrow of your bones.
Where the air in your lungs feels like broken glass.
Exactly. It's a physical pain. We are transporting ourselves to the prison of Mekis today. It's described with such visceral intensity in our source material that I actually found myself shivering while I was reading it on the couch.
I had the same reaction. I mean, the sensory details are incredible.
It is a place of heavy, just suffocating silence. The biting wind off the Iron Bay strips away not just your warmth, but your very sense of self.
And that stripping away of the self, that's central to what we're going to be discussing today.
Yeah.
The setting here isn't just a backdrop.
No, not at all.
It's an active antagonist. It's designed to deconstruct a person. It's described in the text as a place where wanting is torn right out of you.
The death of desire.
Yeah, the death of want, which is a terrifying concept.
It really is. So, today we are doing a serious deep dive into The Wicked and the Damned by Rebecca Robinson.
Such a massive book.
Huge. And if you've been following the fantasy romance genre at all, you know this one hits hard. We're talking about high-stakes political intrigue, torture, incredibly complex magic systems.
And a romance that is
Complicated
is putting it very mildly. We're going to be looking at the narrative arc of Vaasa.
The Asteryan heiress.
Right. She's an heiress, a witch, and the wife of her country's mortal enemy. When we first meet her in this book, she isn't an empress.
She's a prisoner.
She's locked in the deepest darkness.
And we have a massive stack of notes here to go through. Our mission today is to really unpack how trauma shapes power. We want to understand the dynamics of a villainous survival instinct.
Because let's be honest with you guys, Vaasa does some things in this book that are morally gray.
At best.
Yeah, at best. But that's what makes it so compelling. We aren't just reading a traditional hero's journey here.
No, we're reading a survivor's descent into necessary darkness.
Exactly. We're going to look at the intricate political chess game between the Asteryan nobility and the Equirian invaders.
And ultimately try to answer the question, what is the actual price of survival?
So if you are ready to understand how a character transforms from a victim into a literal force of nature.
Let's get into it. We have to start with the cage.
Mika's prison.
The unquiet tomb.
The name alone gives me goosebumps.
It's perfect world building. Vaasa is confined in this sensory deprivation nightmare. She's totally isolated.
She can't even hear the waves.
Right, and the prison is on an island. But it's just this oppressive, dead silence.
But the scariest part isn't the loneliness, is it? It's the company she keeps.
Oh, absolutely. We need to talk about the architects of her misery here.
We are introduced to two major antagonists right off the bat, and they represent such different facets of evil. You have Lord Vlachik and you have Ozik.
Let's break them down, because they are fascinatingly awful. Let's start with Lord Vlachik. He is the one who handles the physical side of things.
Is the brute.
He is. Vlachik is the sadist, the torturer. He's described with these icy blue eyes, like a man who seems to have inherited his cruelty as a birthright.
But what's so interesting about Vlachik is that he isn't just hurting her for the sake of pain.
No, he's a researcher.
In the most twisted sense possible, yes.
This was the part that actually made my stomach turn. The iron collar and the table.
The imagery is just brutal. He chains her to this table and places an iron collar around her neck.
Because in this world, iron dampens magic.
Right. It cuts a witch off from the void. So Vlachik is using torture to study the manifestation of Viraji magic. He wants to know what triggers it.
Is it pain? Is it fear?
Exactly. He's trying to weaponize her biology.
He's treating an empress like a lab rat, pushing her to the absolute brink of death just to see if her eyes glow.
It's incredibly clinical. But then, to balance out that physical brutality, you have Ozik.
And I would argue Ozik is the far more dangerous villain here.
Without a doubt. Ozik is the psychological tormentor. He's the advisor who has been in the background of her life since she was a little girl.
He plays the good cop.
It's a classic manipulation tactic. When Vlachik pushes Vaasa too far, Ozik steps in. He stops the torture.
He heals her.
But if you look closely at the text, the healing is so invasive, he isn't fixing her because he cares.
No, he's harvesting her.
Yes. This concept of harvesting magic is so creepy The book describes it as a connection, like a physical cord between them.
A parasitic bond.
Exactly. When Vaasa's magic flares up in self-defense against Vlasic, Ozik is there to siphon it off.
He drains that power into himself to revitalize his own aging body.
The text describes him literally looking younger, his skin flushing with health while Vaasa just withers away on the table.
He is literally eating her life force. That is vampiric.
It adds this whole layer of violation that goes way beyond just the physical torture. He's inside her head and her magic.
And he breaks her spirit too. Vaasa spends weeks in the dark and she's holding on to this one specific hope. She has this mantra she repeats.
Reid is coming. The wolf is coming for me.
That hope is the only thing keeping her sane. And then Ozik systematically dismantles it.
He convinces her that Reid isn't coming. He isolates her completely.
And bombshell.
He drops the bombshell that shatters her world. He admits to killing her parents.
Her mother, Vina, and her father.
This reveals that her entire life has been orchestrated by this man. He didn't just stumble into power.
He killed his way there.
And he claims he did it because of a broken bargain. He says he loved Vina, but killed her because she didn't hold up her end of a deal.
This frames the entire conflict so differently. It's not a war of ideologies, it's a transactional dispute to him.
To Ozik, people are just assets or liabilities, nothing more.
So after 6 weeks of this hell, the starvation, the torture, the psychological dismantling, they let her out.
But it's not a release.
No, it's a redeployment.
Precisely. Ozik is a political genius. He knows he can't present a powerful witch to the Asteryan people and control her.
A powerful woman is a threat.
So he constructs a narrative.
The curse narrative. This is such a brilliant, awful move.
This is a masterclass in propaganda. Ozik tells the city of Mikis that Vaasa isn't a witch by birth. He claims she was cursed by Reid of Mera.
Her Akuryan husband, the enemy.
That is so twisted. He takes the scars that his own torturer, Vlasic, inflicted on her.
And he points to them and says, look what the Akuryan wolf did to her.
He completely weaponizes her trauma. He uses the evidence of his own crimes to frame the enemy.
And the public just eats it up. We see this scene in the city square that is absolutely devastating.
The archbishop is there.
And he cuts Vaasa's hand to prove she is cleansed, to show the crowd she bleeds red.
It's violent theater, that's all it is.
And the crowd's reaction shifts instantly, right? Before this, they were calling her a whore because she married the enemy.
Suddenly, she's a martyr, a savior, a victim.
It really forces you, as the reader, to look at how malleable public opinion is.
The crowd doesn't care about the truth at all. They care about the story. And Ozik tells a very compelling story.
Vaasa realizes she has to play this role if she wants to survive. She has to be the broken doll.
But she's not the only one wearing a mask in this city.
No, she's not. Let's talk about the players on the board, because Vaasa runs into a ghost from her past.
Roman Kudyev.
Oh, this guy. Vaasa's childhood love, her former sentinel. She literally thought he was dead.
Seeing him alive is a huge shock. But the real gut punch is realizing where he stands now.
Because Roman is working for Vlasic.
He's part of the very machinery that caged her.
And he claims he's protecting her. He has this insane cognitive dissonance where he actually thinks he's the good guy.
Roman is the ultimate embodiment of blind patriotism. He hates Reid and the Akuryan so much that it just blinds him to the evil right in front of his face.
He justifies Vlasic's torture of witches.
Because he views magic as a threat, like disease. When he looks at Vaasa, he doesn't see the woman she is. He sees a victim who needs to be cured.
That dynamic is so tragic to me. He wants the girl he remembers, not the survivor standing in front of him.
He's fighting a war for a version of Asteria that doesn't exist anymore.
And for a version of Vaasa that died in that cell?
Exactly.
But speaking of people who see Vaasa for who she really is, the wolf is in the city.
Reid of Myra. Now, this is a massive tonal shift in the book.
It really is. We go from this grim, depressing prison to high-stakes espionage.
Reid and his second-in-command, Kun, have infiltrated the enemy capital.
And I absolutely love their cover story. They are posing as salt lords.
It's a brilliant disguise. Salt lords are these wealthy merchants who deal in salt and, crucially, black powder.
Which gives them a very good reason to be moving cargo around.
A reason to be armed, and a reason to be rubbing elbows with the local nobility.
It's also just kind of funny to imagine Reid, who is usually this terrifying warlord in black armor, having to play the role of a smooth-talking merchant.
It shows his range. He's not just a brute. He's a high-level tactician.
And they aren't doing this alone. They've recruited Sakya.
an Imros witch.
Let's pause on Sakya for a second because her magic is fundamentally different from Vaasa's, right?
Right. The magic system in this book is elemental but dark.
Viragi, which is Vaasa's magic, is shadow.
Viragi is connected to the void, his shadows and darkness. Imros, on the other hand, is connected to earth and metal.
So Sakya can manipulate metal. Locks, chains, weapons.
She's a pirate and a smuggler.
Yeah.
And she's really only helping Reid because Vlachik has her brother, Mika.
He's fading in that underground ring.
Right. Leverage is the only currency that matters in Makis.
It really is. And that brings us to the reunion scene. It takes place at a masquerade brothel called the Lady Fortune.
The atmosphere here is such a stark contrast to the prison.
It's all velvet and perfume, gold, debauchery. And Vaasa's there, dressed as a bird or an angel with these actual wings.
She sneaks away to meet this mysterious salt lord, suspecting it might be Reid.
The tension is palpable. Because if she's caught, she's dead.
And if he's caught, he's executed on the spot.
But when they finally see each other, all the politics just fall away. It's visceral.
There's this amazing moment where Reid refuses to let her hide. He sees the scars on her arms.
The fresh ones from Vlachik.
And he asks that pivotal question. Who cut you?
That is the turning point for Reid. Up until now, this was strictly a rescue mission.
The moment he sees those scars, it becomes a revenge mission.
His resolve to kill Vlachik just becomes absolute.
And you have to note the difference here between him and Roman.
Right. Roman looks at her scars and wants to fix them or hide them away.
Reid looks at her scars and wants to murder the man who made them.
He validates her anger. He doesn't ask her to be soft.
No, he knows she's a woman now, and he fully accepts that.
But before they can escape the brothel, the political trap snaps shut. Ozik makes his move.
He plans to marry Vaasa to Lord Vlachik.
The very man who tortured her. It's a strategic alliance.
Vlachik has the military might. Vaasa has the royal bloodline. Ozik needs to merge them to secure the throne against the Akurian invasion.
So Vaasa is forced to play the role of the blushing bride-to-be during the day, while plotting to murder her fiancé by night.
But someone actually beats her to it.
The defenestration of Lord Vlachik.
Which is just a fancy word for being thrown out of a fifth-story window.
It happens at the brothel. Reid finds him, and
Gravity takes over.
I love how you put that. It's framed as a crime of passion, but it's also very much a strategic removal.
The problem is, killing Vlachik doesn't free Vaasa at all.
No, it just creates a power vacuum.
And nature abhors a vacuum. Enter Lord Karev.
If Vlachik was a sledgehammer, Karev is a scalpel.
He's a slimy, highly intelligent bureaucrat. He steps in immediately after Vlachik's death and just corners Vaasa.
He basically blackmails her on the spot. He implies he knows she or her secret lover killed Vlachik.
And he demands she marry him instead to keep the secret.
This really highlights the overarching theme of inescapable patriarchy in Asteria.
It's a brilliant theme. Vaasa escapes the physical cage of the prison, only to be trapped in the cage of betrothal to Vlachik.
And then instantly transferred to the cage of betrothal to Karev.
She is treated entirely as a political object, a token to be traded for legitimacy rather than an empress in her own right.
She has zero agency until she decides to take it.
But to take it, she needs her magic back.
Let's talk about the physics of this magic system, because it's not just waving a wand.
Not at all. It's incredibly physical and costly. Viragi magic draws from the void.
It manifests as black mist, shadows, and physical constructs.
But we learned about that connection to Ozik earlier. He drains her.
So Vaasa needs an anchor to protect herself. She goes down to her mother's tomb in the greenhouse.
And this scene gives us the huge lore dump we needed. Ozik confronts her there.
And he reveals what he truly is. He's not just an old wizard.
His eyes glow red.
The Merodag.
The Merodag are these ancient, likely demonic entities from the void. Ozik is a vessel for one of them.
He reveals that the ancient witches' war wasn't just about land or politics.
It was about these entities trying to maintain a foothold in the physical realm. And Ozik is that foothold.
And he talks about her mother, Vena. He says he killed her because she broke a bargain.
Because to a creature like the Merodag, a bargain is the highest law.
Love, family, morality, none of that matters to them.
Only the contract matters. Vaasa's mother tried to break the deal, and she paid with her life.
But Vaasa finds the loophole down in that tomb, the black stone necklace.
It's an ancient artifact. An anchor. Ozik wears a ring with a very similar stone.
It allows the user to channel the void without the physical toll.
And crucially, it acts as a shield against his siphoning. If Vaasa wears that necklace, Ozik can't drain her anymore.
She can finally use her power without feeding the monster, She takes the necklace, she has the weapon.
But Karev is smart, and he springs his trap before she can use it.
Karev suspects Reid is hiding in the city, so he arrests Cone, thinking it's the wolf.
Because Cohen is a Kurian, he fits the general description.
Karev issues this sick ultimatum. Vaasa must attend the execution of the Wolf of Myra to prove her loyalty to Asteria.
This is the ultimate nightmare scenario for her. She has to stand there and watch her husband die.
Or reveal herself and die with him.
And this leads us to the most controversial and honestly, I think the most brilliant scene in the entire book. The tunnel scene.
Oh man, this is where Vaasa truly earns the title Wicked.
Vaasa is desperately trying to get to the execution square. She needs to save Reid or Cone, really.
But Roman is with her.
He's guarding her, guiding her through these dark servant tunnels, and he's suspicious.
He's asking questions. He's becoming a major obstacle.
And she realizes she can't fight him physically. He's a sentinel. He's literally trained to kill witches.
So she fights him psychologically instead. She weaponizes his love for her.
So kisses him.
She stops him in the dark, she pulls him in, and she kisses him passionately.
And you have to put yourself in Roman's perspective here. He's thinking, finally, she's back.
The spell is broken. The girl I love has returned to me.
He drops his guard completely.
And while he's totally lost in that fantasy,
He steals the heavy iron keys right off his belt.
she breaks the kiss, shoves him backward into a dark utility room, and locks the heavy iron door.
She traps him. She leaves him in the dark, fully knowing the city is about to turn into a war zone.
This is her moral event horizon. She chooses Reid over Roman.
But more importantly than that, she chooses her future over her past.
Roman represented the innocence of her childhood, the Asteryan ideal.
By betraying him in such a cold, calculated way, she is accepting that she is no longer that innocent girl.
She is a survivor.
It's brutal because it's just so effective. She doesn't overpower him with magic.
She overpowers him with his own delusions.
Exactly. Reid loves the reality of Vaasa.
Yeah.
The scars, the magic, the darkness. Roman loves the idea of Vaasa.
And Vaasa shatters that idea to save the reality.
So Roman is locked in the dark. Vaasa rushes to the square. And we get to section 6, the execution.
The scene is set with such cinematic tension. The clock tower is ticking loudly. The crowd is just baying for blood.
We have the iron pole in the center, where Cone, disguised as Reid, is tied up.
Vaasa is standing up on the balcony with Karev. And there's an executioner standing on the platform, holding the axe.
Hooded, masked, silent.
And Vaasa looks at the executioner and realizes something. The posture, the stillness,
It's Reid.
the audacity of this plan. Reid isn't the one tied to the pole.
He infiltrated the city guard, knocked out the real executioner, and took his place.
He's the one holding the axe. That is such an incredible power move.
It completely reclaims the narrative. He isn't the victim. He is the one holding the power of life and death in that square.
He is literally standing behind his friend, whispering the escape plan, waiting for the signal.
And the signal is the explosion.
The black powder plot pays off.
Yeah.
Satya and the other Saw Lords have rugged the sanctum.
The explosion just rocks the square. Chaos erupts everywhere. Smoke, screaming, total confusion.
And in that chaos, Vaasa finally stops hiding. She puts on the necklace. She taps into the void.
She manifests the wolf. And this isn't a cute little shadow puppet.
This is a giant, glittering black wolf made of pure Viraji magic. It's terrifying. It towers over the guards.
She describes the feeling of devouring the fear of the crowd.
She slaughters the guards. She is absolutely a monster in this moment.
And this is the critical contrast we were talking about.
Okay.
Roman wanted to excise this magic. He wanted to cure it.
But when Reid sees Vaasa turn into a giant shadow monster, what does he do?
He runs right to her. He touches the shadow, and he says, "Let it out."
Let it out. He gives her permission to be powerful. He validates her rage.
That acceptance is the true core of their romance. He doesn't fear her power. He loves her for it.
They fight their way out of the square. Which brings us to section 7, the chase and the gap.
They are sprinting to the harbor. Satya joins the fray, just hacking away with a cutlass.
It's a desperate run, but there is one final confrontation before they reach the water. They have to cross a bridge called the Last Crossing.
And who is standing on the bridge? Roman.
He broke out of the utility room. He clawed his way through the tunnels.
And he's standing there, disheveled, totally heartbroken, blocking their path.
He looks at Vaasa, who is standing next to the Akrurian wolf, literally covered in shadow, and he asks her one question.
Was any of it real?
He's talking about the kiss in the tunnel, the years of friendship, everything.
And Vaasa looks him right in the eye and says, "No, I guess that makes us both liars.
That line destroys me. She lies to him one last time, or maybe she's telling the truth about the kiss, but she does it to sever the tie permanently.
She knows if she shows even a moment of hesitation, he might try to save her again or follow her onto the boat.
She cuts him deep so he will let her go.
I guess that makes us both liars, acknowledges that he was lying to himself about who she was, just as she lied to him to escape.
They dive off the bridge into the freezing water. They make it to the tender boat, but they aren't free yet.
The Asteryan fleet has blocked the bay.
They are completely trapped. The only way out to the open ocean is the Lorsvain Gap.
It's this narrow, incredibly treacherous canyon guarded by a massive iron tower and a statue.
It's a suicide run for a single ship.
But they have a secret weapon, the Witch's Trinity.
We have Vaasa with her Viraji magic, Satya with her Imros magic, and we discover that Melusina Reid's mother is actually on the ship.
And Melusina is the High Witch.
So you have three incredibly powerful witches, and we see their eye colors flare as they link up.
Vaasa is red, channeling the raw, almost demonic power of the void through the necklace. Melusina is red, and Satya is white, pure, elemental metal magic.
They link hands. They combine their power.
Vaasa provides the raw force, the fuel for the spell. Satya provides the fine manipulation. She targets the iron of the tower, blocking their path.
The text mentions Satya screaming during this. It's a scream of pure grief for her brother Mika, who is still trapped back in the city fighting in the pits.
That's the key to the whole magic system. Magic in this world is emotion made manifest.
The prison tried to take away their wanting. But here, their want is exactly what saves them.
Satya wants revenge so badly that she snaps a 100-foot solid iron tower like a dry twig.
The imagery of that tower groaning and twisting, and their ship shooting through the gap as the blockade collapses behind them, it's so epic.
It's the ultimate jailbreak. They didn't just pick the lock, they blew up the entire wall.
And that brings us to the aftermath. They are out on the open ocean, heading toward Inishore.
They survived. Reid, Vaasa, Kun, Satya, Melusina, but the cost was astronomical.
Roman is left behind. Alive, but now a bitter enemy who knows all of Vaasa's secrets.
The city of Mikizas is in ruins. The sanctum is completely destroyed. The war has officially transitioned from a cold war of espionage to open, bloody conflict.
And Vaasa has fully embraced her darkness.
She accepts the title of the book. She is the wicked because it was the only way to survive the damn situation she was placed in.
I love that interpretation so much. In a world where being good, being the polite, obedient empress would have gotten her tortured and used until she died, being wicked is what got her free.
It raises a really fascinating ethical question for the listener. Usually in these types of stories, we root for the character who does the right thing.
But Vaasa didn't do the right thing. She did the necessary thing.
She manipulated people. She lied to the man who loved her. She unleashed a literal monster on a city square.
So here's the final question for you to chew on today. Did Vaasa make the right choice in betraying Roman?
Was destroying his trust and his innocence a fair price to pay for her own life and Reid's life?
Or is there simply no fair in war, just survival?
That is the question that will definitely haunt us until the sequel comes out.
Absolutely. Well, we have unpacked the shadows, the salt, and the blood. The Wicked and the Damned is quite a ride.
A dark, twisted, thoroughly fascinating ride.
Thank you so much for diving deep with us today.
Until next time.
Keep diving deep.